Appeals, please listen to the rules and procedures that will follow for tonight's meeting.
Good evening, and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Town of Babylon Zoning Board of Appeals. The following is the procedure that will be followed tonight. The matters will be called in the order they appear on the calendar, with adjourned matters being called at the end of the regularly scheduled matters. Matters cannot be heard prior to their published scheduled time. When your matter is called, please submit the affidavit of posting to the secretary and proceed to the podium and give your name and address. The chairperson will then swear you in and read into the record information we have from your application, comments from various town departments, and any correspondence received on your application. The chairperson will then ask you to make whatever presentation you wish to make to the board. After you have made your presentation, the board will ask whatever questions the board deems appropriate, and then we will ask for comments from the public. If you wish to speak for or against an application, we ask that you wait until you're acknowledged. Come forward, give us your name and address, tell us where your property is in relation to the property that's in question tonight, and then please direct your comments to the board, not the applicant or the applicant's representative. We have to keep a record, and we cannot do that if there are people talking over each other or cross conversations. If someone has spoken for or against an application, and they have said exactly the same thing that you wish to say, it will have the same force and effect in the record if you give your name and address, are sworn in, and say that you join in those comments. If you have anything additional to say, please don't hesitate to do so, but keep in mind that you will be given only one opportunity to speak. After the public has spoken, the board may ask the applicant to come back to answer any questions that may have come up as a result of the public comments, or for the applicant to summarize. When the applicant comes back to answer any additional questions, if that happens, that does not start a second round of public comments. Once the matter has been heard, various things may occur. The board may decide the application immediately. It may reserve decision. If the board reserves decision, that does not mean the matter is approved or denied. It just means that the board needs more time to decide, may want to go out and look at the site again, or might want to review the documents and testimony further before making a decision. In either event, the applicant will receive the board's decision in writing shortly after the board makes its decision. If the application is approved, that does not mean that you can then go ahead and start construction or whatever it is that you requested from the board. You will have to wait for the building permit to be obtained from the building department before your go ahead. On some occasions, the matter may be continued for another night. If it is continued, in most cases it will be for the submission of documents, a new survey, new plans, or something of that nature. If that's the case, no one needs to come back on the new date. The documents will be submitted and no further testimony will be taken. On rare occasions, a matter may be continued for future testimony. If that's the case, then people would have to come back to testify. If matters are adjourned at an open meeting on the scheduled date of hearing, no further notice need be given unless specifically required by the board on the date the adjournment is granted. 3 rules that may affect your ability to proceed tonight. 1. If the sign was not posted for 10 days, we cannot hold the hearing tonight. 2. If you commence this proceeding while you own the property, but no longer own the property, and you are here now to continue with the application, you will need either the written consent of the new owner or the new owner to be present for the hearing. This situation could come about if you sold your house or building, money was held in escrow at closing for a certificate of occupancy or permit, and you're here tonight to clear that up. Lastly, if your application is a commercial application and it's other than a renewal, and there is more than one tenant in the building, then you need your landlord to be here. Is there any applicant that has any difficulty with those situations and would need an adjournment tonight?
Is there anyone who would need an adjournment? Please rise and join the board in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First application is application 23107 of Paul and Tara Apatello, property located in North Babylon. Name and address for the record.
Name is Robert Amundson, 66 Longshore Street, Bay Shore, New York, 117.
And your relationship to the application?
I am the applicant and representing the owners, Paul and Tara Apatello.
Okay. And do you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated July 20th, 2023. Environmental Control memo dated July 20th, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Survey by Peter J. Barbazan dated 11/12/22. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Chairman, there's 12 photographs.
would you like to tell us about the application?
Yeah, this is a result of application to maintain these structures, which was discovered through the review of a separate application for a rear addition. So that's why we're here today. I do have one comment about one of the items, the pavers. The pavers, for what it's worth, are not a permanent feature. They're standalone blocks that are just set on the ground. And the homeowner does have intentions of removing them completely and giving them to a family member.
Okay. Before we go any further, too, just let me do a little housekeeping on variance number 3. We need to amend that. We're removing, oh, yeah, we're removing that? Okay, yeah, so, okay, so I'll make a motion to remove variance number 3 if you're going to remove the pavers.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, anything else?
No, nothing else, nothing
Okay,
else. no.
I'll turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
Okay, so you'll agree to remove the pavers?
That's correct.
Okay. And the deck, the wood deck and the rear deck on the pool are being removed also?
That is correct.
Okay. And one other thing I got is the shed. If it's ever taken down, destroyed, or needs to be moved, do you agree to put it to a conforming location?
Yes, the homeowner does agree to that.
Okay. And you have the... Yes, and you agree with the front deck not being enclosed?
Yes, that is correct. We agree.
Okay. A well-kept house, too, looks nice.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve application 23-107 with the condition that the front deck not be further enclosed.
As amended.
As amended, I'm sorry.
Second.
And if the, I'm sorry, and if the shed ever be taken down, it'd be put in a conforming location.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman and board members. Thank you.
Next application is application 23106 of Gino Tedesco, property located in Lindenhurst.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairperson, members of the board. Gino Tedesco, 876 Catskill Avenue, Lindenhurst, New York.
Do you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated July 20th, 2023. A approval from this zoning board, case 09168, dated September 10th, 2009. There's also another approval from this zoning board on case 03131A, dated September 4th, 2003. Environmental Control Memo dated July 20th, 23. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Survey by John Minto, dated April 2023. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, there's 4 photographs.
would you like to tell us about the application?
Yes, we're proposing a pool in our yard. We're requesting front yard setbacks because the pool is going to be located in the secondary front yard, essentially because the rear yard is not quite big enough for an in-ground pool. So we chose that location for the pool. We primarily use it as a rear yard. And so we're just requesting to have the pool, put in that side. I believe we're asking for a patio. I see in the memo here that there's a comment on the square footage of the patio. If you look at the aerial, the patio, it would kind of, with the pool in the front yard and the way the yard lays out, a lot of the patio is really sidewalk that comes around the house and some area around the pool, with the patio coming out the back door. Our first floor is high, so we got stairs that have to come out the back door, so they kind of take up some of that space as well. So we do host family parties with large numbers of people, so we would like to keep that area at 1,000 square feet for the pool, if that's acceptable. Just to add for the record, we do plan on landscaping all around the pool and redoing the landscaping in the backyard, and,
Turn the hearing over to Mr. Rigney.
I think the only problem that we're seeing right now is just the patio. It's just a little excessive. Like I said, I know you like to entertain, but we do try to keep it to what, we
Right.
asked for. And I think you're just going a little bit over too much.
Okay.
If we could just reduce that, I would have no further
I
questions.
mean, we could reduce it a little. I mean, we haven't finished the final design of the patio, so we'd like to, we're kind of like in the process of designing the backyard, so I mean, we'll definitely keep it under the 1,000 square foot. Maybe we could do 900 square feet. Would that be acceptable?
Katie, when he comes up with a final plan of design, would we send it to Rich to let him calculate what they're looking to do? So we can hold the record open until we get those?
Can we agree to a number? I mean, I'd really like to close it out tonight. I mean, we want to get the pool in before the season ends. I didn't
What do you think, Mick?
really want to have to redraw our plan.
Going area from 20 to 23.
Could it be a condition?
There was just one other thing, too, while we think about the calculations there. The contractor doing the pool,
Yeah.
did you see in the planning memo? He might have to take out a stormwater permit if he plans on doing any dewatering on the property.
Okay, I did not see that, but
All
I'll
right,
agree
just
to
bring
that.
that to the contractor's attention, that he might need to file for a permit to do that.
Okay, no problem, I will do that.
Okay, so it's going from 20 to 23.3. If you're willing to cut that back some, but you'd have to give us the calculation, send it in,
Okay,
and then we'd recalculate it, and then we can move on the application.
okay. So I would submit that right back to the zoning board?
Yep.
The budget's going
Okay.
from 20 to 45.1. That was the previous zoning board. change.
Oh.
That was in 2020.
Okay.
This request is to 45.1%.
So he's over by quite a bit,
Yeah, you're over. You're over by a lot, so
1,890 square feet.
we're gonna have to cut that back a ways. All right?
Is 900 square feet, okay? I mean, how,
Really, for me?
it's just, if you look at the design of the pool and the layout, the area going around the pool, I mean, I would say want safety for, my kid and my nephews and stuff to be able to jump in the pool without tripping and stuff, and I want, I can certainly
Yeah.
take some out, again, a lot of it, over 300 square feet of it is just a walk coming around the house. I could take some of that out.
If you can get it, I think we would kind of be inclined to be okay if you could get it down to 900 square feet.
Would be okay, 900? Okay.
All right.
We'll make that happen then.
Get it in the neighborhood there.
Okay.
All right, so we'll just wait for the plans.
Yeah. All right, any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. We're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. We're going to keep the record open for a new set of
Okay.
plans, all right? All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, the next application is application 23066. Property is located at 804 Deer Park Avenue in North Babylon. Name and address for the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Thomas Scavo, architect, 221 Fillmore Street, Massapequa Park, New York, 11762.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated July 20th, 23, Environmental Control memo dated July 20th, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by Gerald O'Buckley dated May 13th, 2007. A site plan by Thomas Scavo. Looks like it's undated. Tax map acting as an area map, and?
Chairman, there's 11 photographs.
Okay, would you like to tell us about the application? I'm sorry.
Sure. I'm here representing Mr. Harjit Chowdhury. They're looking to build a partial second floor addition over an existing ranch to add 2 bedrooms and a bath. They purchased a house in 2009. Originally, it was Mr. Chowdhury and his parents and his brother. When they purchased the house, it had a lot of wood decking in the back. All the paving, as it shows on my site plan, was all there. So they haven't really made any changes except for adding the shed since they bought it back in 2009. Really, the house is designed, it's really a 1-bedroom house. It's got a bedroom, a kitchen, living room, and a dining area, and a finished basement. When they purchased it, they thought they didn't know about the rules in the town of Babylon. They thought, oh, maybe we can use the basement, and because it was finished. They subsequently found out that could not be used, so it really, for all intents and purposes, is a 1-bedroom house. Since then, Mr. Chowdhury got married. He had his kid there. His mother is handicapped accessible now. So they're just looking to get extra bedroom space. The 1 bedroom on the first floor needs to be for his mother, and they're looking to build a second 2 bedrooms upstairs. Right now, he's sleeping with his wife on a mattress in the dining room. His brother's sleeping on a pull-out couch in the living room. The baby's in a crib. So they really need the bedroom space. It turned out when I did the plans for the proposed work, there was a lot of things that needed to be maintained. All that decking in the back. There was an existing cellar entrance. There was a covered porch in the back. So in working with him and a contractor, we've cut out a lot of the paving, all the decking in the back. We've actually brought it down where we're removing the paving and most of the decking in the back. He would like to keep, there's a covered porch with a deck in the back. He'd like to keep that because they use that. But between the paving and the decking that we would be removing, it's about 1,290 square feet that we're removing. And this new front porch that they would like to add is adding about 227 square feet. So there's a net loss of lot coverage of about a little over 1,067 square feet. Because we did not know that all this paving and decking was added into the lot coverage until it was submitted. So a lot of that is coming out. The addition, the second floor, is being built over the footprint, not even all of it, just some of the footprint of the first floor. So that has no effect on the lot coverage. In fact, the existing house right now has about 4.2 feet on the north side yard setback. So that's an existing situation. I've actually designed it to set it in so the second floor has 5 feet, so we're beyond the thing of maybe fire spreading from one house to another. We redesigned the driveway in a way, it's a main street, it's Deer Park Avenue. I have photos, I don't think there was any photos that I submitted, but I can hand these photos in that show a little bit better of the driveway, if I could do that. The next door neighbor on the north side has very tall trees, bushes that go all the way out to the street. So trying to back out onto Deer Park Avenue is hard. So we've cut out some of the driveway. We've basically just have a driveway that you can go to the back where there's a detached garage in the back. So it just goes from the front to the driveway in the back. And all that decking in the back was taken out, and we just have the deck that would be where the front, where the porch is. That's
Thank you.
basic- okay, thank
Turning hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
Okay, thanks. Very well said. I have two questions, and just basics. There's no habitable living space in the garage, right?
No,
Okay. And would you agree that the new front porch not be further enclosed?
yes.
Mr. Chairman, I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? Would you like to be heard?
I have a question.
Sure, come on up. Name and address, I need your name and address for the record.
I never did that, so.
You got to speak into the microphone.
Okay. My name is Teresa Kondraki. I'm living on Stone Avenue, right, almost on the corner next to that medical center, which is on the corner. And I'm over 40 years. And through all these times, we went through the most important question, traffic. Where are you going to park? And I know this house very well. It's looking even, now before expansion, it looks like the car is rolling straight on Deer Park Avenue. Deer Park Avenue is always bumper to bumper. It's between one school and another, and kids walking on this sidewalk, how many times I saw situation that people nervous, forcing, they don't care if the kids are stepping on the curb, they trying to go and do their business. On the top of, next to that property is a medical center, which people constantly coming and going. That's a business. I call medical because that's what originally started with. Still the dentist and whatever, what the doctors are there. And so when that property was in development, the parking from the street was closed for safety because that was the agreement. So people coming by my property on Stone Avenue. And there is no stopping, no parking anytime. But people do that. And this is just corner of Deer Park Avenue. My question is, I don't know how physically possible making smaller parking facing Deer Park Avenue the way it is and add cars. This is disaster. This is, in my understanding, is all looking for trouble.
Oh, yeah. Can you spell your name for us?
I'm sorry?
We need your address, and we need you to spell your name for us.
16 Stone Avenue, North Babylon, 11703. Teresa Kondraki.
You got it? Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Would anyone else like to be heard on this application?
I have a question. What does the second floor? My name is Harji Chaudhary. I'm the owner of that house right there. The second floor.
We need a number.
804 Deer Park Avenue, North Babylon, New York, 11703.
Okay.
Building the second floor. How does that affect the hospital there? That's my question. For the lady, is that what you're saying? The second floor will affect?
This is rental.
Whoa. Gotta stop. Gotta talk to us.
Oh.
We don't do that back and forth.
I want to make sure that doesn't affect. That is the second floor. I don't think that has anything to do with the traffic flow of my house. That's what I'm saying.
Putting a second floor on part of that house.
Yes,
That's it.
that's it.
That's it.
No, I just want to make sure. That's all.
Okay.
That's my house. I want to make sure it gets done. That's all.
Okay,
for my, kid.
okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sir?
My name is Jasbir Chaudhary, and I'm his brother. I think the young lady that
Need an address, need an address.
804 Deer Park Avenue, North Babylon, New York. I think she's talking about the house next door. That's the house that she's talking about that has a lot of cars. It's not the house, the one in the middle.
So the house,
Because she's talking about the corner house. She's not talking.
Okay.
I don't think she's talking about the middle house. Maybe she's a little confused. That's all I'm trying to say. JSBIR. You're welcome. That's all. Thank you for your time.
okay, thank you. Would anyone else like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. You want to come back up for a second? So just go over to the front yard, just for myself here. So you're eliminating a lot of that driveway, the circular driveway?
Yes, all of the driveway on the left side goes back to the garage. So that part and a little bit over, but there will be a front porch that goes from the doorway to the left, and then it'll just be a walkway from that front door to the driveway. But all the right side will be grassed.
So you're getting rid of the second curb cut?
Yes.
Okay.
The curb cut does provide easy access to not have to back up onto Deer Park Avenue to get out.
If it can be kept, that would be great. It's,
That's up to you to decide.
rather keep it. Okay, rather keep it.
No, I mean, I used to live over there, and I know how Deer Park Avenue is. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Unless it's, 1 o'clock in the morning, but going to work or coming home from work at a reasonable time, it's going to be nearly impossible to back out of that, especially being right next to the high school right there.
Yes.
Okay.
Keep it.
So,
It's just way over on lot coverage.
yeah.
Where is that?
Okay, so the variances you're asking for, we wrote up, need to be re-advertised because what you're doing is different than what the variances indicate.
If that's how he's doing it, if he wants to change it, it would have to be re-advertised.
Okay,
Change,
if you want to change what you already asked for. Do you want to keep the second curb cut, or you want to just go with the plans the way they were?
keep it the way it
Huh?
is.
Keep the plans the way they are?
Yes.
Okay. That's easy. Okay, any other questions from the board?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve application 23-066 with the condition that the front porch not be further enclosed.
Second.
all in favor? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good night.
What's the last, all right, so what's the last name? And I'll give you my plans. Yeah.
Why would you want it back?
Next, oh, wait, I'm on the wrong application?
Sitting there till next Tuesday.
Must have tossed number 4 in here with all of that. Okay, sorry. Next application is application 23105 of Stephen and Jocelyn Tabeggio, property located in Deer Park. Uh-huh, I knew. Name and address to the record, please.
My name is Joseph Walker, Double Check Builders, 270 Ronkonkoma Avenue, Ronkonkoma 11779.
Okay, for the record, we have a planning division memo dated July 20th, 2023. Tough time with that tonight. Environmental control memo dated July 20th, 23. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by Peter J. Barbazon dated July 30th, 2021. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, there's 9 photographs in the site plan by Robert Chernak, dated July 6, 2023.
What would you like to tell us about the application?
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, the homeowners purchased the property with the pool, the deck, and the shed already in place, despite the fact that they had counsel at the closing. So that condition is not self-inflicted. I don't think the board would struggle too much with a 29.7 setback, which is existing, and 29.7, which is proposed for the proposed second floor. We did amend the plan so that the impact of the request would be less, so that the rear yard would comply. The pool and the deck enjoy a 75 and 76% compliance respectively. The shed in its current location, like I say, was there, so that's not self-inflicted. The homeowners would agree to relocate the shed to comply should the shed become damaged or in need of repair and replacement. Basically, the only other thing I can add is that there's some question, according to planning, with respect to the location and the arrow on the survey. I think that can be addressed by the survey does not show the directional error, the directional northerly direction anywhere in the survey, but I have a CO that indicates the house. The CO is dated 5/30/85 based upon a permit that was issued in 1984. It says it's the property's located south of Lake Avenue, which would make the property north of Grand Boulevard. The property didn't move or change locations during that time, so I would say it's the same location, unless something happened that I don't know. The other thing I would point out is that the planning memo says that the dwelling was built in 1955, but the permit was taken out in 1984. So unless we're going back to the future, I don't know how that could be.
Okay.
And the only other thing I can add is that given those facts and the board's propensity to act in the need of the town and in the interests of the homeowner to balance it out, we would hope the board would look favorably upon the application.
Okay. Just a little housekeeping. So you're agreeing to the setback of the rear yard's going to meet the 30-foot, right? So we can delete that variance?
Yes, that should be deleted from the call, correct?
Number 2 would be deleted, so the backyard will meet the 30-foot setback.
Correct.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, and then I'll turn the hearing over to Mr. Correcchia.
Okay, so the second story is going to be on the same footprint as the first story?
Correct, yes. And the first story is 29.7, so the second story would be 29.7, so.
So it's straight up?
Correct.
Okay. And you agree that if the pool and the shed ever become in disrepair, that it will be rebuilt in a conforming location?
Yes, we relocated to conform, correct.
Pool and the deck?
Correct.
Okay. Then that's it. Chairman, I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve application 23-105 with the condition that if the pool and deck ever become in disrepair, they'll be rebuilt in a conforming location.
Second.
And as amended also on number 2.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, have a good evening.
Next application is application 23094 of Estevan, Marin Duque, Kevin Marin Duque, Maria A. Duque Morano, and Arlis Marin Catano.
Yes.
How's that? Really testing here. Property located in West Babylon. Name and address for the record?
Yes, Esteban Marin, 150 Forest Avenue, West Babylon, New York, 11704.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated July 20th, 23. Environmental Control memo dated July 20th, 23. If approved, this application will not result in impact. A survey by American Engineering Land Surveying dated May 26, 2023. Tax map acting as an area map. And,
Chairman, we have 2 photographs.
okay, would you like to tell us about the application?
Yes, this is a pool that we're planning on getting. The first shed, when we bought the house, it was there already, so we didn't know it wasn't in the right place. The second shed we got it is a plastic shed. I didn't know it wasn't supposed to be there either. So that's pretty much.
Okay. Turn the hearing over to Ms. McCarthy.
Okay, so is there any way that you can move either of the sheds to a conforming location? Are they movable?
Yes, it is a plastic. It's a plastic one.
So can you move it?
Yeah.
Okay. To 10 feet off the property line? Yeah?
Yeah.
No. Can both be moved or just the plastic one?
Yeah, both can move.
Both can be moved?
Yeah.
Okay. So I make a motion to delete variance number 2 and 3 on application 23-094.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
All right, and so the pool, I just want you to be mindful to let the contractors know of the DEC comments. Did you get that on the planning memo? There's a second page with DEC comments on it. Because depending on the construction of it, they may need to apply for an additional permit. Okay, so just let them know of the DEC comments on the second memo.
All right.
Okay? All right, other than that, I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
All right, I make a motion to approve application 23-094 as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All business.
That's it?
That's it. Next application is application 23-104A and 104B, property located in Wyandanch.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, Nicole Blanda. I'm an attorney at Bazell, Blanda, and Visconti with offices at 535 Broad Hollow Road in Melville.
Okay, for the record, we have a planning division memo, the same planning division memo, really, on both applications, dated July 20th, 23. There are a number of covenants, restrictions, and conditions on these memos. Department of Environmental Control memo dated July 20th, 23. If we were to approve this application, it needs a negative declaration. We have a survey by Michael Lawrence Haynes dated November 27th, 2018 on the A application. The same on the B application. And an overall survey also by Michael Lawrence Haynes dated November 10th, 2022. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Chairman, we have 6 photographs in the site plan by Brand Hamchuk dated September 22, 2022.
would you like to tell us about the application?
Sure. So I'm here tonight on behalf of the property owner, looking for minimal variances in connection with a 2-lot subdivision of an oversized parcel in this Residence C zone. The property is located on the north side of New Avenue, just 75 feet west of Saratoga Street in Wyandanch. It does have a lot area of 12,500 square feet, making it an oversized parcel in Residence C, which requires 7,500 square feet. It's presently improved with a 1-story smaller dwelling that's set really close back to the rear property line, and they are proposing to remove that dwelling. All utilities are readily available to the site. There is gas, water, and there is also sewer now, and that's a recent improvement. I'm going to, I guess, discuss both together since they both go together. That's okay. So we're seeking to subdivide this parcel into two same-size lots, each to have a new single-family home constructed on it. Lot 1 is seeking variances for lot area, so diminish from 7,500 square feet required to 6,250 square feet as proposed, and then frontage from 75 feet required to 62.5 feet as being proposed. We meet all the setback requirements in the residency zone. So in other words, we picked a style of home and a size home that could meet side yard setbacks, front yard, and rear yard setbacks so that we're not encroaching into those setbacks. We also meet the height requirement as well. We're proposing a 2-story, again, it would be single-family dwelling, no accessory apartment, owner occupied. It will have a long driveway. Each will have an internal garage as well for off-street parking. Lot 2 is seeking the same relief. Again, complies fully with the setback requirements, just seeking to diminish lot area from 7,500 to 6,250 and frontage from 75 to 62.5. We're not proposing any basements here. It'll simply be a crawl space, and I did submit 3 sets of crawl space plans for each home earlier today to the ZBA office. When we look at the surrounding area, as you travel west on New Avenue from this parcel down to Lund Street, there are 11 properties on the north side of New Avenue, 9 of which are 60 by 100-foot parcels, meaning they have 6,000 square feet, and they're improved with high ranch-style homes. As this board knows, you have a covenant against high ranch-style homes, so we're not proposing a high ranch-style home on these parcels. But there are 9 consecutive lots from our parcel heading west on New Avenue that are each 60 by 100. They were built in the early 60s. I have basically assessment records to show each tax lot, each address, and that they are 60 by 100s. Also on State Avenue, to the north of us, there are a mix of 75-footers and, again, a lot of 60-footers, both on the north and south side of State Avenue as well. So when you look at the aerial, it gives a great visual because you can see the cutouts, right? So you see the white lines, and as you go down New Avenue, each of those are 60-footers, and then you see ours, which is double. So basically there would be a line going down the middle, and it'll look just like the rest of the block if it was to be approved to be subdivided. Same size. So, when we look at the character of the area, we do believe that this will be in character because this is how the area was developed all the way back in the 60s. And this oversized parcel is actually an anomaly for the block. So visually, as you travel down the street, it will look the same as the others. Across the street to the south is the water tower, and it's property owned by the Suffolk County Water Authority. To the east are residential properties. Some are 70-foot lots, and there's also a senior multi-res. It's about 10 acres. That's at the very end of New Avenue on Bonnie Lane. There's a newer 2-lot subdivision on the corner of Bonnie and New. You don't see it on that aerial, but that was done. But those are 2 75-footers. To the southwest are industrially zoned properties that are used industrially, including a business called Industrial Threaded Products. They do some manufacturing there. And again, to the north are residential homes. We have gone over the covenants and restrictions. There are 13 of them. I think that the ones that should be highlighted is that they will be single-family homes, owner-occupied, with no accessory apartments. And again, they won't be high ranch-style homes as requested by the board and in these covenants as well. And given the size and that this will be, I believe, a positive upgrade compared to what you see on the site there if you've gone by it. And we don't believe there'd be any detriment or any kind of undesirable change to the community if these 2 homes were to be approved and built. So I'm going to hand up I split it up by New Avenue and State Avenue. We do have our architect here tonight to answer any questions the board may have regarding the floor plan and the style of the home. But if the board has any questions right now, we'd be happy to answer them. If you had specific questions for the architect, he's happy to answer them as well.
Okay, I think you've really answered most of the questions about, there's going to be crawl spaces, no basements. You agree to all the covenants, restrictions, and conditions on the planning memo?
Correct.
I have no other questions. Any questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? Go on up.
Good evening.
Name and
Gerard-
address for the record,
Gerard
please.
Gerard McKechnie, 352 State Avenue, Wyandanch.
You were
So-
firm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
So this area that she's speaking about, that the attorney was just talking about, that it wouldn't impact and that the area somehow is subject to 60 by 100 lots. But to the right, going east, right, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 75 by 100. My house is on over 150 by 100. To the immediate right of this lot, there's a house that's 80 by 100. And to the immediate left, there's another builder's house, which is 60 by 100. But the issue is this. In the community that Wyandanch is, and we've worked very hard over the last 17 years to, to build those homes and to put these, and for people to have these single-family homes. The issue is that even though it's a crawl space, generally speaking, even when it's supposedly owner-occupied, you can't control what happens beyond that. And what usually happens is we get a lot of off-street parking. Garage space is used for storage space. Driveways are used for cars that are some working, some not. But the reality is we've spent a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of taxes, especially directly to the east. So that building was occupied by that same woman until she recently died, I would say 3 months ago. Her and her brother were living there for a very long time. And even with the house, I don't even think the house is 550 square feet, the way it is right now, up against the wall. There were cars in there because she didn't have much, but she allowed folks that didn't have anything to park there to sleep. Now that was an anomaly, but what I'm saying is that the texture of the neighborhood has changed dramatically. The texture of the neighborhood has changed dramatically. So it's not a simple, well, if you drive down because it's across the street from the water tower or it's across the street from industrial threading, that it's not gonna do any harm. It will, because if the rule is 75 by 100, and I understand that's what variants are for, we complied with the rules when we were building 3 houses, 75 by 100. When we were at the building department, we didn't ask for a variant, and we had over 130 foot frontage. We complied because we believed that that would be best for the community. When we first got out here, lots were 40 by 100. So to throw in the mix that, before this, before that, what I'm saying is that I'm objecting to the variant. There are other people here that will object to the variant. We are directly impacted because we are on the left and on the right of this. That's really it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Anyone else like to be heard on this application? Name and address
How
for
you
the
doing?
record.
My name is Alvin Romero. I'm at 337 New Avenue in Wyandanch. I'm right next to the lot that they're trying to build, and they're trying to subdivide the lots. And I'm at the same, I have the same arguments as it was Gerard. So I don't think it will be best because it doesn't comply with the requirements. And I'm okay if they build in one single family home. They're more than welcome. But if they're trying to build 2 houses, I think it's going to be too crowded for the community. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Would anyone else like to be heard on this application? Name and address for the record, please.
David Watler, 367 New Avenue. I'm the most recent home built. It's not
Want to
shown
tell
on
the
your map.
truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Interested stakeholder in the community. Been here since 2018. As it was said by Gerard, in 2016, we put applications in with Suffolk County, Town of Babylon. We complied with the 75 by 100 lot. There has been various issues in the community stemming from renters that are unbeknownst to people with projected plans after they depart. My house is on the 75 by 100 lot. If you want to beautify the community, an oversized home on the existing lot would be beneficial, but I'm directly opposed to this. I drive in New Avenue every day from my commute in from the city. My children are at the small end of this corner. There are tons of foot traffic that I've personally gone out of my home and directed to the west of New as people try to hop the fence into that 55 and older community to my rear to access the gas station and stores on Prairie Drive, Wyandanch Avenue. If you go to an updated map on Google, you'll see my home. There's a little fence there that people walk down New Avenue and hop from the tendencies that, you know, there's no access from New Avenue to Wyandanch Avenue, Prairie Drive. The impact for me as a homeowner is felt in the school zone. If you're adding more people in, we lost the industrial taxes on Wyandanch Avenue. It's burdensome in relation to parking, crowding, and I'm just directly opposed to it.
Okay, thank you. Would anyone else like to be heard on this application? Name and address for the record, please.
Hi, good evening. My name is Gabrielle Tewitt, 363 New Avenue. So
Confirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay, please tell us.
I'm 3 houses down. I know you guys said earlier that if we don't have to like reiterate like the comments if we agree. I'm directly opposed to this build. I agree with Mr. McKechnie and Mr. Watler. I would just say that like it's a matter of like there are elderly people on the block, there are disabled people on the block, there are so many people that this property just being here for more than 10 years, they're not taking care of it. And we have to constantly call the town. We have to constantly say, hey, come, we need upkeep. We need to make sure these things are clean because debris from your property is going to another property. I don't see how a new build will aid in that not happening anymore. And that's really my concern, the congestion, the upkeep of the neighborhood. I think that the kids that live in the neighborhood deserve to see things that are beautiful. And if people that own property that don't live in the neighborhood are not taking care of the property, then I think like it's important for us to come and object to major changes. So I'm directly opposing this build.
Okay, thank you. Would anyone else like to be heard on this application? Come on up. Name and address for the record,
My name is
please.
Tanya McKechnie. I'm at 352 State Avenue.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
What would you like to tell us?
Okay, my objection is not the one-family dwelling. My objections are 2 dwelling homes in the same lot. Many homes have been built since we started building our homes. And one of the problems that we see is that one family home has 10 cars parked. One family home has 10 families in it. So if you put 2 families in one lot, we can only imagine the amount of cars that are going to be parked in that lot. How many homes, how many families are going to be squeezed in 2 homes. And so the nightmare, the visual nightmare of seeing 2 homes in one lot when there was just 1 home in one lot is to me, dangerous. Because I have bullets in my home. And we have bullets in my home because there was a little house with 10 people in it, and they were fighting over who's going to park where, and out of the craziness, shooting took place, and where my grandbaby would get his diapers changed is where the bullets were. So by God's grace, it was okay. So if you put 2 homes, the congestion itself on that block is not necessary. Build a nice, beautiful home. Make sure it's a family that owns the home. It's not a renter that's owning the home, because renters don't take care of the home the same way that the owner owns a home. And a lot of people are buying in Wyandanch. That's a new change that we welcome. They're investing their time, their energy, their gardening, they're beautifying Wyandanch. So if a realty is building 2 homes in a lot and disappears, then we're just gonna have the same chaos that we had almost 20 years ago. And so we are objecting the 2 homes in one lot. We complied when we built our homes. They complied when they built their home. Just follow the rules. The rules changed, we followed it. Don't change it because someone else wants to make profit in a neighborhood that's really rising up. okay? So don't bring it back down, because it's safer. People are moving in, people are building, the children are riding their bikes. The cops are happy to see us because we're not calling for anything else. So it's just, it's just been so much better without the congestion. So just continue, just build a home the way we follow the rules, and that's all we're asking. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Would anyone else like to be heard on this application?
Yeah, how you doing?
Name and address for the record, please.
Michael Malcolm. I live right next door to the house the smaller the house that they're talking about building, two-family house. I think it's best to just build one family house and make sure they sell it to an owner that own the property, because renting in that area is a disaster. And there's a lot of crackhead move in, and drug addict goes in and out into those places when you're renting, homes in that area. I've been there in 1995. I bought my property there, and I'm the one that chased a lot of bad drug dealers that comes in front of my house when I'm raising my daughter, selling drugs and dropping drugs off, and, it's not good. It's not fair. I'm the one that called the cops to make this neighborhood safe and better. The neighborhood is getting a lot better right now because of me also. I'm not trying to brag about it, but I stand up for, my right, because I raised my daughter and I want to make sure she's safe. Next door, a few people was living there before, the other people that died, and it was so many activities, drug activities. It was crazy. Gunshot firing and everything. Police coming around. They up in the fence. The lady that was just talking, she was right. There was many people who just jumped through the fence to another store just to get away from the cops. I've seen guys that are running with shotguns, in that area. And I'm the one that called the cops to make sure that neighborhood die down and make it a safer place for the kids, them good people that live in and want to live a good life, in that neighborhood, to be safe. You know what I mean? So it's good if you're going to build a house there, make sure it's just a one-family house with a nice neighbor, nice people that are willing to take care of their family too. So it'll be a better place. Building and renting, trying to make money or hustling because of that, it's not working right. It's not good for the community. It's just making it worse, because all kind of drug people start moving in and renting and doing all kind of stuff, and people pulling up in cars, picking up drugs in front of people's houses, you know what I mean? And they do it in front of my house, and I have to chase them away. They pull up all the time, and I'll be like, hey, you got to get out of here. I'm going to call the cops. And they took off. And this neighborhood, I would love it to be safe with the people that's living there right now. And to, for other people that come there. Wyandanch is getting better. And it's people like us that making it better. The people that making these big money and all of that, and they want to build this and that just to make money for themselves. And, they don't concern about other people, that's living there. You understand what I'm saying? People that live in there, they work hard, and they want to protect their property. They don't want to know that they go to work and somebody breaking into their place and killing each other or killing innocent people. Because there's a lot of crackheads that do anything for money, and it's not fair. So I just want you to know, whatever that lady was saying about having two houses and renting, it's not a good thing. If you're going to build a house, make it build a nice house, beautiful house, and one family that really concerned about themselves and their family to make that neighborhood safe also.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Let me
welcome.
just interject here, though.
Excuse me? My address is 351, right next door to the house. And I've been there for almost 30 years. And I know what's going around in this neighborhood. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. All right, thank you.
So just let me interject here really quickly. There are there are proposed covenants and restrictions on both of these lots, that the dwellings be maintained as single-family dwellings, owner-occupied, no accessory apartments. So I understand that's maybe hard to police sometimes, but those are the covenants and restrictions that would go along with these houses. And go ahead, name and address for the record.
Janelle Watler, and it's 367 New Avenue.
Okay.
My husband and I built our home in 2018. I'm also an educator in the community. I work in Wyandanch at Martin Luther King Elementary School. And so we, as a family and as a community, also agree it would be lovely to have a new home on the block. We follow the rules, and we built our home at 75 by 100 lot, and all we're asking is that we continue to follow the rules. So I oppose it. I agree with what was already said by my family, and that's it.
Okay, thank you. Would anybody else like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Briefly. Do you have any comments briefly?
Briefly, as I think you already stated, if it was 2 new homes, they would be single-family. Whereas if you go in and you put 1 home in as of right, you're entitled to apply for a rental permit, accessory apartment, et cetera. That's really it. I think, we submitted what we submitted, and I made my presentation, and I thank the board for its time.
Okay, thank you. We're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. Thanks, everybody, for coming down. We'll take everything into consideration, okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
You too. That was no good. Next application is application 23102 of the Brimmer Shop, property located in Farmingdale.
Good evening.
Name and address for the record.
You need my home address or my business address? Doesn't
Either one.
matter.
Doesn't matter.
Scott Tucciaroni. I'm at 62 Verde Street in Farmingdale.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, sir.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated July 20th, 2023. Environmental control memo dated July 20th, 2023. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A fire marshal's report dated July 27th, 2023. The fire permit renewal fee is past due.
I actually have it and a copy of the check with me.
You have it with you?
Yeah.
Okay. And that was already submitted?
Yes, sir. Sorry, I sent it in the other day.
Okay. What else we got here? We have a site plan. Oh, boy. Daniel Peter Allen, I think, dated July 16th. Oh, no, last dated October 3rd, 22. They really got to make that bigger. Survey by John Robinson dated September 15th, 2022. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, we have 4 photographs.
okay, what would you like to tell us about the application?
So I run a automotive repair shop out of this building. I've been here since early 2015. I think this is my 3rd time I've been here for a variance. That's really it.
Okay, so I see there was some correspondence and kind of stating the reasons why you were late with the coming in to get your approval.
Correct.
The other thing, though, what's going on with the stone and the granite that's being stored there?
So
this came up 4 years ago. It's
Yes.
back again.
My landlord, who still owns both properties, so he owns 56, 58, 60, and 62, both buildings, same square footage, E&S marble and granite. I guess it's on my property, and I guess that's an issue with the variance.
Yes.
John Allen was here last time, so he was actually able to mention that if we have to have it moved, since COVID, obviously, everything's been crazy. If it is an issue, I've already spoke to my tenant, or not my tenant, my neighbor next to me who owns E&S Marble and Granite. They also have a building on Florida Street, which is, I think, just north of me. He could move some of that around to obviously get that stone out of there off of my property.
Off your property. You're not doing any stonework or anything
No.
with that. That belongs to somebody else, but it's on your property.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, you need to move it off of there only because, you know,
So he's been there since '91. I've been there since 2015. So that's how it was set up. But if it needs to be moved, I'll have John speak to him, and I'm pretty friendly with him. It's not going to be an issue.
okay, all right. I have no other questions. Any questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. We okay?
Sure. Tucciarone, Tucciarone. No problem.
So we're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. We're going to keep we'll keep the record open for you to submit photos to show that you actually had that granite and stone, whatever else, moved off of that property, all right?
Correct.
Off of your property.
Chairman, question for you. Would it, if there was a notarized letter, I mean, to me, it doesn't matter. Obviously, it's the property that I'm renting, and it's obviously my variance. It's going to affect me. If there's a letter that's notarized between the tenant to the east of me, which is E&S Marble and Granite, whose stone it is, myself and the landlord, would that be an issue? Okay, I don't understand why the stone, I just don't understand why
Because
it's an issue.
it's storage that's on your property.
Okay.
You're asking us for a variance for your property.
Okay.
You need to move the,
I'm just asking. If
Okay.
it needs to be done, I'll get it done.
it needs to be done.
You got it.
Okay,
Thank you, Chairman.
thank you.
Have a great night.
You too. Next application is application 23067 of James Tuck, property located in Lindenhurst. Name and address for the record.
Hello, my name is Chris Alvino. I work for Harold Gebhard, 363 North Wellwood Avenue, Lindenhurst.
How you doing? James Ludick, 1 West Santa Barbara Road, Lindenhurst, New York, 11757.
Okay, and you both affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated June 9th, 2023. Environmental control memo dated June 13th, 2023. Suffolk County Planning memo dated June 5th, 2023. Decision of local determination. Take no position for or against. Survey by Jason Lettingham dated December 29th, 2021. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Chairman, there's 15 photographs in the site plan by Harold E. Gebhard dated October 17, 2022.
would you like to tell us about the application?
How are you? As you can see from the aerial, the property's in really nice shape. It's kept really clean. They have a growing family. We started this application quite a while ago. It took a long time to get a denial. Miraculously, for some strange reason, this new paving thing came into effect. So the paving that's there has always been there. It's been there for a while. But let's go through a few things. I like to make it as easy as possible. I'd like to bring the house in compliance to the height requirement. I personally don't see why 1.5 feet really matters, especially right on the water.
We've been down this road a bunch of times.
Yeah, we have been, but I have no problem bringing this house down to the required height. I don't think it's going to make a difference from what you see there. We're proposing a really beautiful structure. They need the space.
So you will bring it down?
We're gonna get rid of that first variance right off the bat.
Okay.
All right. Second one that they're talking about, this tiki bar. We're gonna get rid of the tiki bar. So the tiki bar is a problem. We're gonna get rid of it. Third, we got that shed they're talking about. We're gonna get rid of the shed. It's not an issue. Gone. That little shed in the back, we'll get rid of it. As for the lot occupancy, I'd like to get rid of as much paving and asphalt as we can to bring our lot occupancy to 50%, as opposed to what we're showing here. Our lot occupancy is a 65.81%. We'll take out as much paving. Right now, we have some asphalt paving that's on the west side of the property. We'll get rid of that from the corner of the house up, and we'll get rid of some of the paving, and we'd like to bring that variance to 50%. And when we wrap up our construction documents, it'll all be shown on there. Whatever we need to do to get an approval, we're knocking out those variances. And we'd like to get this thing built because the kids need the space. Please.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll turn the hearing over to Mr. Dellavecchia.
That's me.
Oh, it's you? Oh, I'm sorry, it's you.
All right, so Mr. Albino, we're going to delete all the variance number 1, we're going to delete, right? You're going to
Yeah.
agree, you're going to agree to keep that height at 30.
We're going to keep it right where it's got to be.
We're going to keep it at 30 feet. So we're going to delete that variance. Number 4's variance as well. You said you're going to remove the tiki bar,
You got it.
and the shed is also coming down,
Going to be removed.
okay, to a conforming location. Wait, you're going to keep it or you're going to remove it?
No, we're going to remove it.
Okay.
And then we'd like to bring the percent lot occupancy with regards to the paving and the asphalt to bring our percent lot occupancy down to 50%.
All right, so we got some housekeeping here. Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we delete variance number 1 on application 20-076.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We delete variance number 7 on 23-076.
Second.
Favor?
Aye.
Not going to delete variance number 6, only because there's more to there.
Number 8 and 9.
Have to see revised plans,
So,
calculations.
Or number 8.
yeah, we're going to need revised plans showing all of what you're actually proposing and what's going to be deleted and what paving and stuff is going to be removed
Sure.
to get everything down to, where.
I mean, if
we
you're all
could
right
take
with
a second look.
50%, I'd like to bring it down to 50%. That's what our goal is here.
Okay.
I mean, you can see there's a lot of green on the property. It's pretty. It looks nice now. It's well-kept, and it's going to remain to be well-kept and clean.
Well, there's no green in the rear. There's only green in the front.
No, but there will be.
No, I wish I had.
The only green in the back is water.
And it is green.
It's definitely, it is a well-kept house. There's just a lot going on back there.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot.
Okay, so, I mean, I think at the end of the day, before we can do anything more with this, we need revised plans showing everything that you're going to take away, and then we're going to have to revise it and what variances that will trigger at that point in time.
I'll get that to you immediately.
Okay.
That'd be good.
Yeah, for DEC letter, we're gonna. The bulkhead's been there, I'm sure, prior to '72, whatever it is, August, and we'll get a letter of non-jurisdiction.
Right.
We're gonna get rid of them. No, we're gonna get rid of the
Tiki bar in the shed.
tiki bar in the shed.
So you can remove them.
Well, the deck will probably stay, but we'll anchor it down to meet whatever requirements that the floodplain need for the flood zone.
All right, so then we're
about the
about
hot tub?
the revised plans.
Yeah,
so
we're
that I
gonna-
know what
yeah.
homework I'm doing here.
Yep.
I'll have them in right away. I
Okay.
just want to get this going because it's been a while. And I appreciate anything you guys can do to expedite it as fast as possible.
You get them in, we'll take a look.
You got it.
All right? All right. I'm going to close the hearing, reserve decision. We'll keep the record open for new plans. And that's it. That ends our streaming part of the meeting. We are
Thank
going
you.
to go finish up the rest of